All right, everyone, Lee Goldstein for 10-Minute Trades, and we had some wild action this week on our best trades of the week. So let me show you what took place. Sometimes trading can be so frustrating it could drive you insane. We had a flash manufacturing report. We had a trap trade set up. Now don't forget, it's possible to lose money trading futures. What's a trap trade? So we have a setup where if the market goes up, we sell the market. And if the market goes down, we buy the market. Our preferred setup was the gold futures trap trade. So as the trade reverses, that's how we make our money. Now, flash manufacturing has been a very good trap trade. It's been working month after month. But what happened was the news was so incredibly positive, it pushed gold far down, and it kept pushing it and pushing it. I was very concerned about my stop. And as gold started moving, I increased the stop. And then I was getting ready to increase it again. But it looked like it was chopping. Maybe it was starting to reverse. But nothing really had happened yet. I shrunk my targets, and I was still keeping an eye, and before I had a chance to increase my stop at all anymore, you could see it took me out of the trade with a rather hefty loss, over $700 in my funded PA Apex account. Very frustrating. 2 or 3 ticks bigger on the stop. Watch the reversal. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars in profit on this reversal, because that's what we're expecting. Look at that. It goes all the way back up. Now, I did notice, and I got ahead of myself here a little bit, I did notice we had a very heavily negative slant on gold. The news was very good, which pushes gold down. I thought we could make some of our money back by taking a continuation trade to the downside, looking for the magnet, the low of the day, to be the impetus for pulling price. And that's what happened. PA, Apex account, looks like SIM, but it's actually a prop account with Apex funded. And the price started going down. My idea had worked, chopped a little bit. We were in the room, keeping close eye on it. We also had existing homes coming up at 10 o'clock. And what happened was I had to increase my stop because it started chopping. I thought maybe I was going to get stopped out. It just missed me by a couple of ticks. Then we got a nice reversal starting, but we were getting closer and closer to existing homes. And we still hadn't gotten a profit on our reverse continuation low of the day test. So now I don't always like to be in a trade before the news. In fact, I don't often like to be in a trade before the news, because it then becomes a random trade, not necessarily a trade that you're using your analysis. We started to get a hefty reversal right before the news came out. I was able to get my stop to safety, trail the stop, and we were making back a significant portion of that $700 that we lost. But existing homes was now taking place, and you see what happened? It took me out of the trade with about a $400 profit instead of $550 or so. Nevertheless, we had a very solid profit that allowed us to recover a significant amount of our loss. Then I still wanted to buy the short because it hadn't hit the low. I thought that it would get there, and sure enough, I put another trade on, and then, I'm telling you, trading can drive you crazy. I was moving my stop, and I accidentally shifted my chart so you couldn't see gold explode to the downside and hit my target. And everyone in the room said, "Hey, where'd the price action go?" You could see it on the right because I was looking at gold on the right. We realized we shifted our chart, and the profit was there because gold shot through the low, definitely satisfied our analysis and hit our targets on the trade. and we recovered all of our $700 loss plus about an extra $80. Very stressful, very wild, exciting trading this morning on Flash Manufacturing. Turned a loser into a winner, which is a great way to trade. Next up was natural gas. Now I'm telling you, everyone, these trades can drive you crazy. Natural gas, don't forget, trade smart, you can lose money. Natural gas had 6 winners in a row. 6 winners in a row. I'll show you the trade report. It should show up in a second here. There it is. If you look at natural gas, 6 winners in a row. That cancel, yes, we canceled at 10 o'clock because that report was delayed till 2 o'clock that day. But when it traded at 2 o'clock, it was another winner. So I took the natural gas trade in my Apex account, and wouldn't you know it, in literally a second, I was stopped out, so we couldn't get 7 in a row. Nope, I couldn't get a gift from the market. No such luck. I took a probability trade. It exploded, whipped, total whipsaw, an instantaneous stop out. But I also saw natural gas had a build in inventory. That should push price down. So we waited patiently, and we didn't jump into the trade, and it was a good thing that we didn't, because natural gas did a retrace. Watch what happens. It went back up, but then we decided to take that short to the downside, chops around a bit, boom, hits our target, more money being made on our prop accounts, trading natural gas. Now, if you notice, natural gas didn't quite get to the low. We took the trade, but got out before the low. You know, I was a little bit gun shy, and watch what happens on this price action. It blew through the low. There was quite a bit of extra profit available on that natural gas trade. So actually wound up being a nicely profitable morning, but the lessons learned are, if you have a stop, you can't be afraid to continue to trade. I don't like to set a loss limit on a day or a winning limit on a day because our type of trading is different. Reports are reports. If you ever report a news event that's been profitable month after month after month, you got to trade it. The next time it comes up, you can't let a loss in the morning stop you from trading a great event in the afternoon just because you hit a limit. I don't agree with that always with our style of trading, because if you did that, you never would have caught the lows on these extra trades. Sometimes you have to bite the bullet, take that extra trade or two to make back some of the money you lost. These were our trades of the week. Natural gas. Oh, and I forgot, a very big end-of-day trade. So the end-of-day trade on the MNQ is actually a series of trades. There could be as many as 3, not counting discretionary entries. Our first entry is 1550. That's, in my opinion, the most impactful move. It really kicks, and it's a breakout trade with a big stop on MNQ, at least 150 ticks. Some people use 250. Watch what happens today. It bursts up, instantly hits both my targets. The second trade, again, that was in the Apex account, so Apex was doing well today. The second trade is 5 minutes later, 1555. So we put that trade on a few seconds before 1555. And I'm also always looking for a discretionary entry if a trend is created right after either of those trades. Nothing happened after 1550. And I put the 1555 trade on. Let's see what happened. It pops up. I knew this trade had failed when it did a pop up and no follow through. So let's see. I bit the bullet. I took a loss. And that was the 1550. But in my other prop account, in my Bullinox prop account, I did take a discretionary short. That wound up being a very sweet winner. I was using the full size NQ on that one. Now I'm going to wait for the 4 o'clock event. Well, let's see if I did anything discretionary between 55 and 4 o'clock. So there's a series of 3 trades, and I did take a discretionary trade before 4 o'clock. Watch it here. Our software easily lets you put that on. It immediately hit target 1 and moved my stop to safety. I was able to trail, and actually I was able to do quite a bit of trailing. This wound up being an excellent move. I had to expand my charts. The movement was so good. That was MNQ. Started out with 3 contracts. First target took me out of 2, and then literally trailed for more than $100 in profit. That was an excellent pre-4 o'clock trade. And then 4 o'clock rolled around, and I did not take the breakout because I felt that the market wasn't volatile enough for me. And I did get it right. There was not that much of a reaction on that 4 o'clock trade. So once again, those end of the day MNQs can be a series of 3 events, 3 trades, 1550, 1555, and 4 o'clock. Plus, there are discretionary opportunities often in between the trades, and very often, especially after 4 o'clock, sometimes you get a really nice trend, particularly if you break through. If you're looking at a range at 1550 and 1555, and the 4 o'clock movement breaks through the range on one side or the other, that often is a very strong trending trade after 4 o'clock. So I keep my eyes open for that as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little bit long. I hope everyone is going to have an awesome Memorial Day holiday weekend. Say a prayer for all of our service members who've given up the greatest gift that they could give to protect our beautiful country. And I wish everyone a great holiday, and I'll see you soon. Check out our offer to join with us for 30 days. Our trial is open, and I'll see everybody soon in the trade room next week. Lee Goldstein, best trades of the week. Pretty wild, a lot of excitement, a lot of fun. It's very challenging in these volatile markets. See you soon, everyone. Take care.